"Daddy, can we help her?" The little voice of his daughter cut through the cold night air, piercing deeper than the distant city noise. Michael, a single dad and Marine veteran, had been walking home from his late shift with his daughter Lily's small hand wrapped in his when they saw her, a woman cornered by three men in a dimly lit alley. The sight was enough to make Michael's chest tighten. He had seen violence before, but not like this, not with his daughter's innocent eyes watching. He glanced down at Lily, her pleading gaze pulling at him, reminding him of the man he promised to be. He squeezed her hand gently. "Stay right here, sweetheart," he whispered, his voice calm though his blood boiled. The three men never saw him coming. Years of discipline, training, and survival instincts roared back to life as Michael closed the distance. It wasn't just skill, it was determination. Within seconds, he had knocked one to the ground with a swift strike, shoved another against the brick wall, and sent the third fleeing with a warning growl that carried the weight of a Marine who had faced far worse. The woman collapsed to the ground sobbing, whispering thank you between shaky breaths. Michael wrapped his coat around her shoulders, assuring her she was safe now. But he never stayed for applause. That wasn't who he was. He took Lily's hand again, smiled down at her, and simply said, "We helped." Then they walked home like it was any other night. The next morning, Michael thought little of it. His life was still the same, bills piled up on the counter, an old truck that barely started, and a worn-out pair of boots that had marched through both deserts and frozen winters. He poured Lily a bowl of cereal, kissed the top of her head, and reminded her to pack her favorite book for school. Nothing felt different, until the sound of engines rumbled outside their small rental home. Michael stepped out onto the porch, shielding his eyes from the sunlight, and froze. 3 Rolls-Royce Phantoms were parked in front of his house, their polished frames gleaming like jewels against the cracked pavement of the neighborhood. Out of the first car stepped the woman from last night. She was no longer fragile or trembling, she carried herself with elegance and strength. Her name was Isabella, and as she approached Michael, her eyes welled with gratitude. She revealed that she was the daughter of one of the wealthiest philanthropists in the state, though she rarely shared that fact. Last night, she had been trying to escape the shadow of privilege when she was attacked. Michael had not only saved her life but restored her faith in humanity. "You didn't walk away, even though you could have," Isabella said, her voice trembling. "You taught your daughter what it means to stand for someone who cannot stand for themselves. And I will never forget it." The doors of the other 2 Rolls opened, and men in suits emerged, carrying envelopes, documents, and even a set of keys. Isabella's father, an older man with kind but sharp eyes, had sent them. He had heard everything and wanted to repay Michael, not out of obligation but out of respect. At first, Michael raised his hands in refusal. He wasn't a man who took handouts. He had fought for his country, worked odd jobs to keep food on the table, and sacrificed his dreams so Lily could keep hers. But Isabella stepped closer, placing her hand on Lily's shoulder. "This isn't charity," she said softly. "It's recognition. Heroes like you deserve more than scars and silence." Tears burned Michael's eyes, though he tried to hide them. The men handed him the keys to a new home, fully paid, in a safer neighborhood where Lily could grow up without fear. Another envelope carried a scholarship for Lily's future education, ensuring she would never have to feel the limits of what her father had endured. And in a gesture that struck him deepest, Isabella's father offered Michael a role in his charitable foundation, a position where his leadership, integrity, and protective spirit could help countless others. For the first time in years, Michael felt the heavy weight on his shoulders lift. He glanced down at Lily, who was staring wide-eyed at the shiny cars, then back at Isabella. His voice cracked as he whispered, "All I wanted was to teach her to be kind, to be brave, to never walk away." Isabella smiled through tears. "And you've already succeeded." That night, as Michael tucked Lily into her new bedroom, she looked up at him and said, "Daddy, we helped her, and now she helped us." Michael kissed her forehead, holding her tighter than ever. His heart swelled with something he hadn't felt in a long time, hope. And for those watching right now, let this story remind you, sometimes the smallest act of courage can change not just one life, but many. If this touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Because heroes don't always wear uniforms or capes, sometimes, they're just single dads trying to raise their daughters right.